Okay, welcome back. Welcome to a new class, class number 50. Huh? Not bad, 50 classes. Well, not yet. At the end of this class, we have completed 50 classes, but we haven't completed 50 classes yet. We have finished 49, and now we're starting class number 50, camera number 1. All right? Okay, let's continue with our translation lists from yesterday. Diviértete y no te metas en líos. Have a good time and don't get into trouble, my friend. Don't get into trouble. Puf, te metiste en líos al final. You got into trouble. You got into a big mess, my friend. Y eso es lo último que yo esperaba de ti. That's the last thing. Lo último. Claro, no existe en inglés, ni nosotros decimos el artículo curioso lo. La última cosa que yo esperaba, decimos en inglés. That's the last thing I expected from you. That's the last thing I expected. Fijaos cómo uso la X en inglés. The taxis in Extremadura are expensive. That's the last thing I expected from you. La X en inglés es muy dura. Expect. Taxi. Expect. That's the last thing I expected from you. I'm surprised. Hombre, ¿para qué sirve llamarla ahora? Escuchad, esto es difícil. What good does it do to call her now? Yeah, ¿para qué sirve? ¿Qué de bien hace, literalmente? What good? O sea, la palabra bueno. What good does it do? What good does it do? Se usa muchísimo esa expresión. What good does it do? What's the point? Otra forma. What's the point in calling her now? What's the point? It's pointless. Es inútil llamarla ahora. Ya no sirve para nada. What good does it do to call her now? It's pointless. There's no point. What's the point? What good does it do to call her now? Oof. This is entering rich English, but very common. These expressions are very common everyday expressions, but they're rich in the connections, connectivity, and the different types of nuances. What good does it do to call her now? It's too late. Agua pasada no mueve molino. Yeah, it's water under the bridge. Calling her now is a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It doesn't do any good. It's pointless. There's no point. What's the point? What good does it do to call her now? Es una pérdida de tiempo. It's a waste of time. It's a total waste of time. It's a waste of time. La he dejado para siempre. I've left her for good. And I said to her yesterday, I said, Jennifer, yes, Richard, I have something to say. Oh, what is it? Darling, yes, I'm leaving you. You're leaving me? Yes, for good. For good? Yes, I'm leaving you for good. Oh, darling, what will I do? What will be of me? And I said, frankly, darling, I don't care what happens to you. I'm leaving you for good. For good? Are you sure for good? Yes, I'm leaving you for good. Te estoy abandonando para siempre. Forever no se dice en estos casos. For good es una expresión muy corriente en inglés que significa para siempre, se traduce para siempre en el sentido de forma definitiva. Te estoy dejando, te abandono, te dejo, pero definitivamente, no hay vuelta atrás. For good. Forever es una palabra preciosa en inglés que significa hasta la eternidad. De hecho, en el caso contrario, será, darling, yes, darling, I love you, and I will love you forever. Okay. Luego 2 años más tarde, darling, yes, darling, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you for good. Okay? No se dice I'm leaving you forever. Te dejo hasta la eternidad. No, te amo hasta la eternidad. So, forever means until the end of time. Forever. For good means never again. Nunca más. Vuelvo. For good. Es definitivo. For good. All right? Dejo esta empresa y para siempre y no vuelvo. I'm leaving this company for good. All right. Empezaron mal. Empezaron mal. Escuchad con atención, por favor. They got off to a bad start. They got off to a bad start. They got off, doble F, to a bad start. They got off to a good start. On Vaughan Inglés 4.0, my impression is that last month we got off to a good start. We didn't get off to a bad start. And of course, in every project, it's important to get off to a good start. If you get off to a bad start, it can be a bad omen. A bad omen is mal augurio, or mal agüero. The basketball team, the Spanish national basketball team, in the last European Championship, got off to a bad start. But they ended up winning the championship. Terminaron ganando, terminaron por ganar. They ended up winning the championship, but they got off to a bad start. ¿Estás luchando, mi amigo, por una causa perdida? ¿El inglés? Huh. You're fighting for a lost cause. Do you really think you can learn English? Are you really studying English? Seriously? Are you crazy? ¿Para qué sirve estudiar inglés? What good does it do? It's a waste of time. It's pointless. What's the point in studying English? There's no point. It's a waste of time. What good does it do? All right? Yeah. You're fighting for a lost cause. You're fighting for a lost cause. Nobody learns English. The only way to learn English is to go live there for 10 years in a place where nobody speaks Spanish and where you have to work every day using the language. That's the only way, which is not necessarily true, by the way. It's good to spend 10 years living in Nebraska or Idaho or Montana or Wyoming, but you need to consolidate certain knowledge and abilities before you go in order to make those 5 years or 10 years much more productive, okay? And you can learn English well without going abroad. I've met many people who have learned English quite well or very well without spending hardly any time, apenas nada, hardly any time abroad, okay? Yeah, so you can do it. You can do it. You're fighting for a lost cause? In this case, no. In my opinion, no. What good does it do to study English? For me, it does a lot of good. Not only for learning the language, but intellectually, it sharpens your mind. Te agudiza la mente. Intentar aprender bien un segundo idioma o incluso el intento de hacerlo. Intento serio. All right. I'll be back in a few minutes, and we'll continue after the next teacher.
Hello everyone, and thank you Richard. I'm your teacher Natasha, as I hope you know, and today I'm here with a student that I think you already know as well, okay? His name is David. Let's meet him. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine. Are you excited about this class?
Yes, I'm very excited.
Do you know that we're going to work a lot?
I didn't know, but...
No, he thought we were just going to have a little chat, but no, we're going to work a lot.
Okay.
Now are you excited?
I'm still more excited.
Ah, that's very good. Did you study for today?
Yes, I did.
Ah, very good, very good. He knows I want him to study for every single class, okay? And of course, at home, I want you to study for these classes as well. Okay, we're going to start straight away because there's a lot to be done in this class, okay? As you know, we have to review everything you saw in the previous class, okay? So we're going to review 2 different points, okay? Before we start, something I say in every single class, okay? I'm very annoying, soy muy pesada. You have to try and repeat out loud. This is very, very important, okay? A language is there to be spoken, so you have to try and speak it. I'm speaking to you, so you have to speak to me, okay? Now let's start, okay? Are you ready for the first thing?
Ready.
Okay, we're going to study meters squared, okay? Metros cuadrados, meters squared, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Ask me how big my neighbor's plot of land is.
How big is your neighbor's plot of land?
Very good. 600 meters squared. So, full sentence?
Your neighbor's plot of land is 600 meters square.
Very good. Plot of land. Let's see if David knows what plot of land is.
Es un terreno.
Yeah, very good. Plot of land, okay? So my neighbor's plot of land is, and I think I said 600 meters squared. 600 meters squared, okay? Now, the next one is also for David, okay? Are you ready?
Ready.
Ask me how big my sister's bedroom is.
How big is your sister's bedroom?
Very good. How big is your sister's bedroom? Well, I'll tell you straight away. 15 meters squared. 15 meters squared. Now we're going to get you at home to say the full sentence. Very good. Your sister's bedroom is 15 meters squared. Okay? Your sister's bedroom is 15 meters squared. Very good. Okay? The next one is for you at home. Okay? Ask me how big my house is. Ask me how big my house is. Very good. How big is your house? How big is your house? Well, it's 80 meters squared. 80 meters squared. Let's get David to say the full sentence now.
Your house is 80 meters square.
Squared.
Your house is 80 meters squared.
Very good. Okay, this is a very common mistake of dropping off the final letters of the word. Okay, 80 meters squared. Okay, very good. Now we're going to go on to the next thing you saw in the previous class, which was a translation list. Okay, as you know, I'm going to say the words in the sentences in Spanish, and you and David have to say it in English. Okay, we're going to go over the trickiest sentences. Okay, let's see if David's ready. Are you ready?
I'm
for
ready.
The trickiest sentences?
Yes, I'm
yes?
ready.
Okay, the first one. No quiero seguir.
I don't want to go on.
Oh, very good, very good. I don't want to go on, okay? Obviously, you can say, I don't want to continue. Both ways, but it's always more common to use the phrasal verb, okay? I don't want to go on. Very, very good. Actually, repeat at home. Very good. I don't want to go on. Okay, the next one is for David as well. Are you ready?
Ready.
Despídete de ellos.
Say goodbye to them.
Very good. Okay, despedirse in English is say goodbye. Okay, there isn't one word that means despedirse. Okay, at home, salúdales. Very good. Say hello to them. Okay, saludar, say hello. Despedirte, say goodbye. Okay, very good. The next one is for you at home. Okay. Cuanto antes hables con él, mejor. Very good. The sooner you speak to him, the better. The sooner you speak to him, the better. The sooner, the better. Cuanto antes, mejor. Okay, let's get David to repeat this sentence as well.
The sooner you speak to him, the better.
Very good, very good. Okay, you ready for the next one?
Ready.
Okay. Diviértete y no te metas en líos.
Have fun and don't get into trouble.
Very good. Have fun and don't get into trouble. Okay, to get into trouble. Okay, meterse en líos. To get into trouble. Do you think you can repeat at home? Very good. Have fun and don't get into trouble. Okay, the next one is for you at home. Okay, eso es lo último que esperaba de ti. Eso es lo último que esperaba de ti. Very good. That was the last thing I expected from you. That was the last thing I expected from you. Let's see if David can say this sentence as well.
That was the last thing I expected from you.
Very good. Are you ready for the next one?
Ready.
Okay. ¿Para qué sirve llamarla ahora? ¿Para qué sirve llamarla ahora? What do you think?
What's the point what's the point of calling her now?
Very good. What's the point of calling her now? Or what good does it do to call her now? What good does it do? Okay, let's get David to repeat with this structure.
What good does it do to call her now?
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you at home for being there. Remember to study, to review, and to practice as much as possible. Have a great day. Bye.
Okay, welcome back. Are you interested in learning English? Are you interested in improving? Are you interested in making a big change in your mastery of my language? Well, it depends on you. It's up to you. It's your decision. It's your problem. It's not mine. My job is to motivate you and to orientate you a bit. O los americanos decimos orient you a bit. But basically it depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. ¿Me estás entendiendo? I'll say it more slowly on camera number 1, okay? All right, Maria's laughing. Depende de ti, no depende de mí. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. It depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. ¿Qué chollo tenéis? A singing teacher. Can you believe it? All right. He not only teaches, but he sings. I'll do anything to motivate you to make the necessary effort to learn English. But in the final analysis, it depends on you. It doesn't depend on me. It depends on you. Y por favor, si no quieres que te intente matar, no digas nunca it depends of, como en español. Porque la dependencia depende de uno a otro, puede caer por uno a otro, depende del viento por donde puede caer esto. It depends on. Es como un gozne o una bisagra que se desplaza sobre una bisagra. Entonces depends on, como si estuviera encima. It depends on which way the pen falls. It depends on the weather. It depends on several factors. It depends on the climate. It depends on the political situation. It depends on the decisions coming out of the parliament. It depends on the economic situation. It depends on the interest rates. Depende de los tipos de interés. It depends on the interest rates. Depende de la tasa de natalidad. It depends on the birth rate. Depende de la tasa de mortandad or mortalidad. ¿Cómo se dice? It depends on the death rate. All right? Depende de ti. It depends on you. No depende de nadie. It doesn't depend on anybody. Depend on. Escuchad la última. It doesn't depend on anybody. No depende de nadie. It doesn't depend on anybody. It doesn't depend on anybody. Fijaos, la D final de la palabra depend se junta con la O de on y un poco abandona su palabra. It doesn't depend on. Depend on. It doesn't depend on you. And it doesn't depend on him. It doesn't depend on her. It depends on me. Ahora un S, porque es tercera persona singular en afirmativo. It depends on me. It depends on you. It depends on the weather. It depends on the climate. It depends on the people. It depends on the government. It depends on your wife. It depends on the traffic. Practicad esto, por favor. It depends. Dos cosas. Bueno, tres cosas. In the expression depende, y ya está. It depends. It depends. It depends. When I began teaching for the first time in 1974, of course, I was green, verde, inexperto, sin experiencia. I was green, inexperienced. I wasn't an expert, but I think I was an intelligent young man. My eyes were open, my ears were open. I was trying to learn and trying to do my job as well as possible. So I had the right attitude. Eso sí, that's for sure. Tenía la actitud correcta, eso sí. I was inexperienced, but I had the right attitude. That's for sure. That is for sure. Date por seguro de esto. That's for sure. That's for sure. But I remember the first 2 or 3 months, I was really surprised by one problem. I remember I started to become familiar with the typical mistakes you Spanish people make. But there was one mistake that I said, ¿cómo es posible? Es que no se enteran, no piensan, es que no quieren. I couldn't understand it. It was depende. Depende, la expresión depende. Y a veces depende o depende del tiempo atmosférico, por ejemplo. I couldn't understand why Spanish people constantly destroyed that expression. Y decíais, hace 30 años y seguís diciendo, it's depend of, it's, como si ello es depende de, it's depend of. And I tried to change it and it was impossible. It's depend of. And under strong drilling conditions, de ejercicios, machaqueo, pam, 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 finally I can move the student to it depends on. It depends on. It sin S, depends con S, on, no of. O sea, eran tres cositas, pero lo teníais siempre al revés. That and the pronunciation of las Islas Canarias in English, in forever, to this day, hasta hoy día, to this day, it's a fight, a constant fight, ongoing fight to say the Canary Islands, and to say it depends on, it depends on, it depends on. Ahora, cuando dices depende, ¿te gustan las flores? Pues depende. It depends. No decimos on porque no hay complemento. It depends. 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 It depends on you. It depends on me. It depends on my parents. It depends on the temperature in this room. It depends on many factors. It depends on the weather. It depends on the atmospheric pressure. It depends on the high pressure system in the Atlantic. It depends on the interest rates. It depends on Mr. Trichet in Brussels. It depends on, in Frankfurt. It depends on many things. It depends on. Y por favor, entre hoy y mañana, I want you to repeat. It depends on you. It depends on me. It depends on him. It depends on her. It depends on them. It depends on us. Who does it? It depend on. It depends on. Y luego lo contrario. It doesn't depend on me. Aquí la S no está in depends. It doesn't depend on. Y luego enlaza con depend on. It doesn't depend on me and it doesn't depend on you. It depends on her. It doesn't depend on her. It doesn't depend on them. Por favor, aprended esto bien, para evitar that my heart. It's a question of my heart, all right? I want to live a long life. Learn how to say depend. See you in a few minutes, okay? After our station break. Okay, my success in this course, Vaughan Inglés 4.0, my success depends on you. It depends on the effort you make. It depends on how hard you work. It depends on how perseverant you are. It depends on how diligent you are. It depends on how frequently or how assiduously or how often you watch this program. Now, in part, it depends on me. The success of this course depends on me. It depends on me. It depends on me. It depends on my ability to influence you. It depends on my ability to motivate you. It depends on my ability to teach well. And I'm doing the best I can, okay? I'll see you in a few minutes after our next teacher.
Thank you very much, Richard. My name is Alberto Alonso, but you know that. And you're watching Vaughan Inglés 4.0, and you know that too. But do you know who my student is? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Either way, de todas formas, either way, I'll introduce you to her now. Acuérdate, no decimos present, because present, yo diría, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Diana. Eso es present. ¿Ves? Así como estilo, como para la tele. But if you say introduce, es, hola, encantado. This is to introduce. Es un amigo falso. We don't present our friends. Bueno, a no ser que trabajas en la tele, como nosotros. But I'm going to, bueno, te voy a presentar y I'm going to introduce you and present you.
Okay.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Diana. How are you, Diana?
I'm fine, Alberto. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm in a bad mood.
Why? Why are you in a bad mood?
Sí, sí. I'm not in a bad mood. It was a joke. Okay. But I just wanted to use different vocabulary. What does this mean?
Estar de mal humor.
Estar de mal humor. To be in a bad mood. How do you say gruñón? Que te lo enseñé en otra clase.
Cranky.
Maria, ¿te crees? Maria, can you believe this? She's cranky. That's right, cranky. So I'm going to give you 20 points.
Okay.
Now, how many points do you have? How do you say cuántos puntos tengo hasta ahora? How do you say that?
How many points do I have so far?
So far, otros 5 puntos.
Okay.
So how many points do you have so far?
I have 250. points.
250. How do you say mantener un récord o saber cuánto tienes? Tener como un récord en la cabeza.
I don't know.
Okay, to keep track.
Okay.
Okay, es muy común. Por ejemplo, if I'm on a diet, si estoy a régimen, then I'm keeping track of the calories I eat. If I'm exercising, I'm keeping track, mantener un récord de cosas. So you're keeping track of your points.
Yes, more or less.
More or less. All right. Good. All right. Well, are you excited?
Yes, as always.
As always. All right. You have a lot of energy?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
Right. Do you have a lot of energy, right? La respuesta corta, right? Porque claro, yo entiendo la confusión. I understand your confusion because en un caso do es el auxiliar y en otro caso have. Entonces siempre estamos escuchando el auxiliar en cuestión, right? Do you have a car?
Yes, I have. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Negative 5 points. All right.
Okay.
Okay, so one more time. Do you have a car?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you got... No, no te voy a confundir. I won't. Will you come here tomorrow?
Sorry?
Will you come here tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Have you been my student before?
Yes, I have.
Good. Did you see me yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Was I your teacher last year?
No, you weren't.
All right, good. 10 points for that whole sequence. Good.
Okay.
Okay, so always listen to the auxiliary verb, right? El auxiliar o el modal. Should you smoke?
No, I shouldn't.
¿Ves? Entonces, escucha el mío y te dice dónde tienes que estar. Pero escucha la pregunta también, porque no quieres decir sí o no si no sabes lo que estás. So always listen. No quiero que no escuches el resto. You have to listen to the whole question, but also, if you're listening to that auxiliary verb, te dice en qué marcha estás. Can you speak Spanish?
Yes, I can.
Could you speak Spanish when you were 5 years old?
Yes, I could.
¿Ves? Estás repitiendo, es fácil. Esto está chupado. How do you say está chupado?
It's a piece of cake.
I don't get it. No lo explico. I don't get it. It's a piece of cake. It's a piece of cake, un trozo de tarta. No decimos it sucked. Eso es está chupado, it sucked. Suena mal en inglés.
Okay.
No suena nada, suena mal. Okay? All right. So now we talked about this before, Diana. What are the most common mistakes? Why do people, the most common mistakes, where do they come from?
From the direct translation
Yeah.
from Spanish to English.
Absolutely. From direct translation, right? And some of the big ones. How do you say la gente es?
People are.
Yeah, todo el mundo, people is. Digo, people nunca es people. It never is. Y si tienes que cantar una canción, cántala. ¿Sabes la que digo?
No.
People are people, so what can it be? Depeche Mode. No dicen people is people. ¿Sabes por qué? Porque no puedes. You can't say it. You can, pero suena malísimo. Okay, so people are. Again, that's because people are translating, right? How do you say asisto a tu clase un día sí y otro no?
I attend your class every other day.
10 points.
Yeah.
Pero muchos dicen I attend to, asisto a.
Okay.
Pero muy bien, no lo has puesto. Asistir en inglés, attend, no va con to. Nunca. Qué crack. You know what I'm going to ask? Seriously. We don't prepare this before. I don't know. Diana, you're impressing me. I am impressed. Yeah. I am impressed, right? How do you say impresionante?
Amazing.
Amazing. Okay, amazing es asombroso también, pero how do you say impresionante? Creo que usamos el...
I don't know.
Okay. Quería ver si dijiste
Awesome.
Impresionante. Mucha gente, he oído gente decir, it's impresionant. Digo, no, eso es español. Impressive.
Impressive.
Okay, es un poco cambiado la terminación un poquito. Impressive. Okay, well, how do you say depende del tiempo?
It depends on the weather.
Muy bien, no dijiste the time y no dijiste it depends of. Right? Que es el error muy grande. It depends on. Right? Ahora, hay muchos errores que pasan aquí. Depende de. It depends on, not of. Nunca decimos of. It depends on. También otro error es muchos ponen la S con el it's. It's depend of. Apunta, write it down, and I want you to...
Cross out.
What can I say? Tachar. To cross out, okay? I want you to cross it out, okay? I want you to write, it's depend of. Tacha la S, pone una S con el depends, y tacha el of y pone on. Pero para nosotros, eso no son tres palabras. It depends on. ¿Sabes lo que es para nosotros? Un sonido. Lo mismo que para ti en español. Hasta luego. Eso no es hasta luego, es un sonido. Deja de ser 3 palabras. Los phrasal verbs igual. Pick it up. Para mí eso no es pick y up. Pick on. Todos. Es un sonido. So, ahora vamos a repetirlo varias veces. It depends. Quiero que digas, yo te voy a decir cosas y tú me dices, it depends on tal cosa.
Okay.
The weather.
It depends on the weather.
Y míralo todo junto. It depends on, it depends on, it depends on. ¿Ves? La D ni se pronuncia. It depends on. ¿Ves? So, one more time, the weather.
It depends on the weather.
Okay. Your schedule, tu horario.
It depends on my schedule.
Okay. Schedule.
Schedule.
Schedule. It depends on
Schedule.
my schedule. Me parece en Inglaterra dicen schedule, porque son rarillos. They're strange. Sorry, I can't say. Schedule. Schedule. It depends on my schedule. Hey, depende de la situación.
It depends on the situation.
Sure. How do you say depende de a qué hora llega el vuelo?
It depends on what time does the...
What time the flight arrives. Porque es indirecto. ¿Ves? It depends on también le hace una pregunta indirecta. It depends on what time
The flight arrives.
Yes, okay. Depende de los puntos que tenga.
It depends on the points I have.
Yes, and how many points do you have?
I have around 300.
300, pues te voy a quitar puntos, porque 300 no es un número en inglés.
Okay.
30, 100 me has dicho.
300.
Oh, okay, good. 300?
Yes.
Muy mal, muy mal.
Okay.
So you have 300.
300. Yeah.
Has saltado mucho. I think, are you adding extra points?
No, I'm not.
I don't know, Maria. I want you to keep track. Mantener un récord. All right, keep studying. You will improve. Bye.
All right, welcome back. Listen, I would like to go to watch a football game in the Vicente Calderón. Is it possible? Well, it depends. What does it depend on? Well, it depends on whether you have tickets or not. Do you have any tickets? No, I don't. Well, then apparently you can't. Then it depends on another factor. Well, what's the other factor? Well, it depends on whether they have any tickets available or not. Sorry? Look, if you don't have a ticket and you want to go to the game, well, then it depends on whether they have any tickets available. Maybe the game is sold out. If the game is sold out, that means there aren't any tickets available, and the only possibility is in the resale of tickets, or scalpers, as we say in the States. Que te cortan la cabellera, la reventa. The scalpers. And so you can go to the stadium and you can buy tickets for 100 or 200 euros. All right? So it depends on whether there are tickets available or not. Now, you would like to change to camera one. Well, it depends. What do you mean it depends? What does it depend on? Well, it depends on whether camera one is functioning properly or not. It depends on whether the camera is working or not. We'll see. We'll change for a moment to camera one. If Maria says everything's okay, well, we'll stay with camera one. But it depends on whether Maria tells me it's okay or not. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, it works. Whether is spelled W-H-E-T-H-E-R. Dos H's aquí. After the W at the beginning and in the middle, T-H. Weather. Suena a tiempo atmosférico, ¿a que sí? Weather. No sé si el tiempo va a cambiar o no. I don't know whether the weather is going to change or not. Y de hecho los británicos. In fact, the British people usually say weather, not weather. The Americans aspiramos that WH. Whether the weather, I know aspiramos. Whether the weather will be good tomorrow or not is a question I can't tell you. El que vaya a ser buen tiempo, no te lo voy a decir. Now, it depends on whether you study or not. Depende de si estudias o no. El sí aquí, no decimos if con depend. It depends on if is incorrect English. Do you want to learn English? Do you really want to improve your English? And you want to know what the possibility or probability is? That's easy. It depends. What does it depend on? 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 Well, it depends on whether you study or not. También podría decir, It depends on how much you study, lo mucho que estudies. But it depends on whether you study or not. If you don't study, forget it. If you study, there's a good possibility. And what's that? You're asking me if I want to continue as a teacher in this. I'm teaching in this first quarter, primer trimestre. Now, do you want to know if I'm going to continue in the second quarter? Well, it depends. What does it depend on? Well, several factors. Number one, it depends on whether you want me back or not. It depends on whether you want me back or not. If we receive emails and evaluations and say, Vaughan, no thank you, change, then I won't come back. So it depends on whether you want me back or not. Do you want me back? Don't worry, if you don't want me back, you're not going to hurt my feelings, okay? You're not going to hurt my feelings if you say you would prefer a teacher change. No sweat. No problem. No problem es sin problemas. No sweat es sin sudores, literalmente. Ningún sudor. No me molesta, no pasa nada. No problem. I will discreetly disappear from the scene, okay? So, whether I continue next quarter depends on several factors. Aquí he usado whether de una forma un poco diferente. El que siga yo o no, o el que continúe yo en el próximo trimestre, depende de varios factores. Whether, aquí no es si, whether. Usted podría decir, si sigo o no, depende. Whether I continue or not in the next quarter depends on several factors. First, it depends on whether you want me or not. If you don't want me, I will do other things. I have plenty of things to do. I'm very busy, okay? Second, it depends on whether they continue paying me or not. If they stop paying me, I could consider leaving because I don't mind working for free, but I would prefer not to do it in the long term. You understand? Because I'm not rich yet, and so I still need to put food on my table. So whether I continue or not depends on whether you want me or not. It depends on whether they continue paying me or not. And it depends on whether this program is successful or not, okay? But it will be. My intention, by the way, is to continue. So whether you want me or not, I'm here, okay? It depends, it depends, it depends. Now, I'm planning to go to Burgos this weekend, but I haven't made my mind up yet. Or I haven't made up my mind. I haven't decided yet. You haven't? Well, what's the problem? Well, it depends on the weather. It depends. In what way? Well, it depends on whether it rains or not. It depends on whether the weatherman predicts rain or not. It depends on whether the weatherman predicts rain or not. If the weatherman predicts rain, I won't go. I will cancel my plans. If the weatherman predicts or forecasts good weather, then I'll go. So it depends on whether the forecast is for rain or not. It depends. It depends. It depends. It depends on the weather. It depends on the weather forecast. It depends. It depends. It depends on you. It depends on me. It depends on the government. It depends on Maria. It depends on the camera. It depends on the technological situation. It depends on the economic situation. It depends on, it depends on, it depends on, it depends on. It doesn't depend on. It doesn't depend on. I'm repeating these again and again. Not because I could teach it only once. So do you think it depends on? It doesn't depend on. But that doesn't work. You have to hear it 1,000,000 times and say it 1,000,000 times. But try to master this simple expression that you think you know, but you don't. All right, see you in a few minutes, okay, after our next teacher.
Thank you, Richard. Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah. And welcome back to another practice session with me. And I hope you paid attention to Richard because now I'm going to put you to the test. But first, let's say hello to David. Hi, David.
Hi, how are you?
Great. How are you today?
I'm feeling great. Thank you.
Great. I love to hear that from my students. I feel great. I feel happy. Well, good. You should. You're learning English. Okay, we're going to start with some vocabulary.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Contraseña.
Password.
Good. Repeat.
Password.
Okay, password.
Password.
Yes. Okay, password. Password is just one word. Password. Password. Next. Invertir. Dinero or tiempo?
To invest.
Perfect. To invest. To invest. And so the second syllable has the accent there. To invest. Next, we have pauta.
Pattern.
Good. Repeat.
Pattern.
Good. Excellent. Pattern. Pattern. Pattern is pauta. Pattern. Next, we have pensar en voz alta.
To think out loud.
Perfect. Excellent. Repeat again.
To think out loud.
Excellent. So, to think out loud, right? So we have several words here for this expression. Pensar en voz alta is to think out loud. And finally, we have insinuar.
To insinuate.
Okay, good. Repeat. Let me
To
hear.
insinuate.
Okay, to insinuate.
To insinuate.
Eso. Okay, again, insinuate.
Insinuate.
Okay, very good. So at home, repeat this with me very carefully. New. Insinuate. 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 Let me hear you at home. Again, repeat with me. Insinuate. Insinuate. Okay, very good. Great job. Excellent.
Thank you.
Well, as always, David is my star student. Okay, now we're going to look at the expression, it depends whether.
Okay.
Okay, so it depends whether. So translate for me these sentences, please. Okay. Depende de si me llama o no.
It depends whether she calls me or not.
Very good. Excellent. It depends whether she calls me or not. So remember, it depends whether. So whether is basically a substitute or a synonym to if. Okay, so it depends whether she calls me or not. All right. Depende de si hay entradas o no.
It depends whether there are tickets or not.
Okay, very good. It depends whether there are tickets or not. Depende de si tengo suficiente dinero or no. O no.
It depends whether I have enough money or not.
Very good. It depends whether I have enough money or not. So enough, remember enough money. And please don't say money. Okay, money, no. Money. It depends whether I have enough money or not. Depende de si nos pagan o no.
It depends whether they pay us or not.
Very good. It depends whether they pay us or not. Okay, what's the difference between whether here y whether el tiempo? Is there a difference?
Yes, there is.
Okay,
Yes.
only-
Whether here is a condition, is to express a condition.
Exactly.
Yes.
Okay, and the spelling is different, right, from whether
Yes.
el tiempo.
Mhm.
But what about the pronunciation?
Whether is the same.
Exactly the same.
Whether.
Exactamente. So, whether, aquí, it depends whether, y también whether, como tiempo, is exactly the same pronunciation. The two words are pronounced exactly the same. But, of course, we spell the words differently. And, of course, the context is very different as well. So, depende de si hay clases o no.
It depends whether there are classes or not.
Or not. Repeat.
It depends whether there are classes or not.
Okay, very good. Great. Very clear now. Okay, it depends whether there are classes or not. Depende de si hace buen tiempo o no.
It depends whether it is nice weather or not.
Okay, very good. Great. Okay, let's hear the sentence again. Here we're using weather dos veces
Okay.
de pronunciación, pero dos palabras diferentes. Okay.
It depends whether there is nice weather or not.
Okay, it depends whether
It's nice weather or not.
Okay, very good. So it depends whether it's nice weather or not. Okay, so we're using weather. Dos veces, again, the pronunciation is exactly the same, but of course, the context and the spelling, they differentiate the two different words. So it depends whether it's nice weather or not. It sounds a little bit repetitive, but claro, you have to use those words, and they sound the same. Okay, depende de si me cae bien o no.
It depends whether I like him or not.
Okay, very good. Okay, great. So here, caerse bien, right? A alguien, in English, basically is a verb to like, right? I like you. Me caes bien. I like you. Or él me cae bien. I like him. So it depends whether I like him or not. Okay, muy bien, very good. Depende de si vienen a la reunión o no.
It depends whether they attend the meeting or not.
Okay, very good. It depends whether they attend the meeting or not. And also, good, David didn't make this mistake. Very good, good job for you. But there's a very common mistake that people make with asistir, right? Asistir a una reunión o al concierto y tal. A lot of people say to attend to, pero no ponemos to con el verbo asistir, right? So this example, it depends whether they attend the meeting or not. We never say they attend to the meeting. No, quitamos to. So it depends whether they attend the meeting or not. Depende de si aprueban los cambios o no.
It depends whether they approve the changes or not.
Okay, very good. Very good. Repeat. Let me hear again.
It depends whether they approve the changes or not.
Very good. Muy bien. It depends whether they approve. Approve. So with a V, sonido al final. Whether they approve the changes or not. Changes in plural. Changes. Remember, you have to add an extra syllable. It depends whether they approve the changes or not. Okay. Depende de si coge el tren o no.
It depends whether he gets or he catches.
Catches.
It depends whether he catches the train or not.
Okay, very good. Repeat again.
It depends whether he catches the train or not.
Excellent. It depends whether he catches the train or not. Remember, third person singular here. It depends whether he catches the train or not. Okay, very good. Great job, David. So keep practicing this form. It depends whether. It depends whether. And keep practicing this form because next time for the review, you have to do it again. All right, see you next time. Back to Richard. Bye-bye.
Okay, class 50. And in this class, I have spent most of the time, and the other teachers, working with the expression, it depends, to depend. And this is el nivel avanzado. The expression, it depends, is for beginners. Why is it in the advanced level? Well, because it's in the other levels too. Because you never learn it. You never learn it. Why? What's your problem? Why is it so difficult to learn to say it depends on, it doesn't depend on, or en pasado dependía de, it depended on. What's the problem? All my life, 35 years in this profession, and I still haven't found a person who can use it correctly. It's you just not trying. Come on, try. See you tomorrow.